What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Alfonso Speaks, where we speak on things that Alfonso wants to speak on. Of course, we are back with the Darrell Brooks trial. Episode 1 is already out. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. But this one is episode 2, and I want to take you guys through one of the most, I believe, important moments of the trial. It was a 50-minute rant by Darrell Brooks. 50 minutes, and we're going to watch every single bit of it. But it really kind of goes into... Let me backtrack. It gives a great example for a long period of time of what Darrell Brooks' whole approach to this trial was, which was to delay, which was to make ridiculous legal arguments that didn't make any sense or have any basis in fact or law. You just got to see it for yourself. You got to see it to believe it. Some of you have already seen it, and you're just coming to my channel because you want more Darrell Brooks content from somebody else. Hey man, I'm here to supply it for you. But for those of you who haven't seen it, this is Darrell Brooks in a nutshell. A bunch of nonsense, and he gets called out by Sue Roper at the end of it. Let's take a look.
All right, we are back on the record. Then appearances are as they were before. State have their next witness available.
I'm gonna be eating while we're doing this. Just
all right, let's bring the jury back up.
Don't consent to being called by the name that this court chooses to identify me by. I want to state for the record.
So he keeps saying he doesn't identify by this name. He doesn't identify by this name. They're calling him his name, which his name that's on his ID, Darrell Brooks. Darrell Brooks Jr., Mr. Brooks. He keeps trying to find these technicalities with his sovereign citizen theory. And they keep trying to paint this picture of him not understanding or not being under the jurisdiction of the law of this court somehow. It doesn't make sense, but I digress. Let's continue.
That I'm here as a third-party interviewer on special appearance on behalf of my client. Can that be noted for the record?
It was noted this morning.
May it be noted again for the record so that we can keep the record clear and accurate.
The appearances are as they were this morning. They are no different. Bring the jury up.
And we have yet to address subject matter jurisdiction, Your Honor. I still haven't been shown any verified proof that this court has subject matter jurisdiction. And at this point, may I request an affidavit that you, Your Honor, have no bias, no conflict of interest, and no interest in the outcome of this case?
Mr. Brooks, the jury's coming out. We'll address your legal issues later, if I deem them appropriate.
Judge, do you hold the full
Mr.
judicial
Brooks,
power of the
please,
state, or is this the military
all right,
power?
Can you please take the jury out? Thank you.
He just got exactly what he wanted. Okay, he wanted the jury out of there. Because every time the jury is in there, that means more evidence is getting presented. That means more witnesses are being, interviewed and let go. That means his sentencing is coming nearer and nearer. He doesn't want that. Okay, he wants to delay. He wants to cause a mistrial. But they were timing up for it. They weren't letting it happen. But Judge Darrell, she's going to stop everything right now. She's going to allow Darrell Brooks to communicate his different legal arguments. Why? Because of the record. The record needs to be kept clear. The record needs to be displaying that she gave him every opportunity to adequately defend himself, and he's the one that fumbled his case by deciding to represent himself. So in the moment, a lot of people were getting on Judge Darrell's back, talking about what she should and shouldn't be doing in this moment, but I think all things considered, she handled it pretty wonderfully.
Do you hold the full
Mr. Brooks,
jurisdiction?
just wait till the jury's out, please. I ask that you show that respect.
I will.
Thank you.
Let's fast forward just a little bit.
I want to first state again for the record that I do not identify by that name, nor do I consent to being called that name. Your Honor, with all respect, I'm merely asking you, do you have the full judicial power of the state, or is this military power.
I'm sorry? I don't understand what you're asking me, sir.
And neither do we.
I'm asking, is
Now, what
this,
legal basis are you making that request?
I'm asking, for the record, is this a common law court or an admiralty court? What are we in here? And I'm requesting an affidavit that you, Your Honor, have no bias, no conflict of interest, or no interest in the outcome of this case. And the reason why I want to state this clearly for the record, mainly is because of the bias that's been shown. I have not been getting any certified copies of any requests that I've made, which I was told by this court to address inmate communication forms for anything that I may need. I've done that. I've complied with that. Every time I've needed something of the court pertaining to documents, I've done it the way the court has asked me. And I've always stated that I wanted everything to be certified. I have yet to even get that. My court docket sheet was not a certified copy. When I asked Your Honor of your oath of office, I asked for that to be certified. You stated for the record that you would not give me a certified copy of your oath of office, which you are required to show if I ask for it. I've brought up my Sixth Amendment constitutional right that has been pretty much discarded, and that is based on the fact that I have the right to face my accuser, which would be the plaintiff, state of Wisconsin, in this matter. They have yet to show that a claim is I mean, a living human being can only make a claim. An entity cannot make a claim. I've requested
This right here. That's gotta be one of the most effed up things he said during this entire trial. Imagine being on trial for killing 6 people, injuring dozens, and saying that only a living, breathing human being can bring a claim. How do you say that in a room full of the victims? Families? How do you say that? I mean, honestly, there really is no explanation. Because somebody like him is just, I don't know, it's indescribable, the kind of person that he is. It's very hard to, like, really understand who this man is, why he is the way that he is. None of it makes sense. So, like, we're searching for all these answers about what his motive was that day, why he does the things he does, why he is the way that he is. Some people are just bad people. And that's really all you can say about it. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. That's how you get a Darrell Brooks. He's just a bad person. Granted, his upbringing had a lot to do with that. Not excusing any of his behavior, but his upbringing definitely shaped who he is as a person. And of course, we're going to get into that in later episodes when we start talking about his mother, Dawn Woods.
For the complaint to be provided. The complaint from November 23 of 2021. The amended complaint from November 29th of 2021. The second amended complaint from January 12 of this year, 2022. I have yet to see those. There was no record of a bond in my docket sheet. I asked for that to be verified by proof. That hasn't been provided. There's so many biases, clear biases in questions that are not being asked based on judicial determinations made by Your Honor. You look at the discrepancies, and I think they're clear. I think at minimum I deserve for the subject matter jurisdiction to be verified and proven. I've raised that issue numerous times, pretty much every day, every time I come before your court, Your Honor, I address that, and it has yet to be proven. My filings have been disregarded, even though they've been filed into the record, even though they've been time-stamped. I haven't got the original copies of any of them, which I'm supposed to get. And as we sit here today, I'm still not even understanding the nature and cause of the charges.
This too. Absolutely stupid. How do you not understand the nature and cause of the charges? Vehicular manslaughter, recklessly endangering safety, domestic violence. These are not hard to understand things, but he's playing dumb. He's playing dumb. He does it the entire trial. From start to finish, he pretends that he doesn't understand anything because in his mind, if he's representing himself and he doesn't understand anything, then it has to be a mistrial because it's not fair. But as Judge Darrell says somewhere in this trial, your ignorance of the law is not a defense for this. So he really tried this approach and it just didn't end up working out for him. It's not going to end up working out for anybody. So if you're ever at trial, get yourself an attorney. Stop trying to defend yourself unless you really know what you're doing. And even if you really know what you're doing, get an attorney.
That hasn't even been proven. Can that be provided in any way? I'm basically sitting here confused because I don't understand why these proceedings are allowed to continue when there's so many things that have not been provided. They haven't been provided in my discovery. They haven't been provided to me by being brought to my pod where I'm housed in the jail. I'm without so much information, valid information to this matter. And I believe that it should be verified and it should be proven for the record. And if not, I move for this case to be dismissed for failure to appear by the plaintiff and failure to state a claim for which relief can be granted. Everything that I'm saying, it has merit and it has validity.
No, it doesn't.
As we sit here today, I'm still being charged with charges that shouldn't even exist based on the testimony that we've heard for the last few days. There's so many things left to still be proven. The prosecution team hasn't even proven that they're licensed to practice law in Wisconsin. They haven't proven, are they just bar association members, or do they have state issued licenses? That has not been proven, which I've raised that issue for the record. I'm not even sure if that was even recorded in the docket sheet. There's so many things, and Your Honor, you still haven't stated for the record if you have full judicial power of the state or is this military power?
So he's using all this legal jargon to try to paint some type of, I don't know, I don't even know what to call it at this point, but he's trying to, he's trying to bring up different legal points, hoping something will stick. Throwing crap at the wall and hoping it'll stick. That's basically what he's trying to do. The problem is, nothing that he's saying is making any sense or has any basis behind it. And you'll see as we continue to go along in this video how much he repeats himself and how you can tell he's just trying to talk and talk and talk and waste as much time so that he can waste a whole nother day of court. Because one more day in court is one less day in prison. You know what I mean? And in a lot of ways, I bet he's hoping God just strikes him dead before this trial is even over so that he doesn't have to face any of the prison time. But that's not what's about to happen for you, bro. You're about to have to sit in jail for the rest of your life and just be. And that's going to be the worst form of torture. You're not going to have any access to a woman. You're not going to have any access to the outside world. You're never going to go to another basketball game. You're never going to go to a Green Bay Packers game. You were a fan, but you're never going to go. You're never going to have any of these experiences because you threw it away by senselessly injuring and taking lives. It doesn't make any sense, but here we go again.
That hasn't been proven. Nothing has been proven. Not subject matter jurisdiction, not licenses to practice law. My Sixth Amendment right has been basically trampled over. No complaints have been shown. Neither of the three that I've requested, by the way that you told me to request them by inmate communication. Nothing is certified that I get copies of when I clearly asked for them to be certified and to be filed into the record. it's to the point where Your Honor, you should recuse yourself from the presiding at this point. If you're not going to abide by the oath that you swore.
So I've been watching a lot of reaction videos on the Darrell Brooks trial, which is why I started to do my own. And what I see a lot of people saying is like, you know, how he's talking to the judge. Oh, how dare you say this to the judge and stuff like that. That's really not my concern whatsoever. The judge is a grown woman. She can take it. She'll be all right. She gets paid a lot of money. My issue is the family sitting behind this man. The family sitting behind this man that came to see this man face justice, and instead they're having to listen to him spout off at the mouth for 50 minutes, saying absolutely nothing of note, nothing that makes any sense, nothing that has any basis. And they're knowing this is the guy who killed our family member or who changed our lives or our child's life forever. And I can't even jump over this seat and put this man in a chokehold. You know, it had to have been very frustrating for the families that were there to sit there and listen to this man just go on and on and on about this baseless stuff when you literally changed the lives of an entire community. An entire community with one action. One very, very unnecessary action. It's ridiculous.
Which was in your oath, correct? You swore to protect the Constitution of the United States. You swore to protect we the people. That is not being done here. If every valid argument that I raised is taken by the court as a sign of disrespect or a sign of trying to intentionally be disruptive or causing a problem, when I'm merely seeking understanding, because I don't understand. I'm merely seeking to understand why this information has yet to be provided and we're this far into this matter. And there's still no verified proof. Even as I sit now saying this, there's still no proof being provided. Zero.
Okay, hold up. Hey, real quick. This is the first time I've ever noticed this guy in the background.
And there's still no verified
he looks like that bounty hunter dude.
Now saying this, there's still no proof being provided.
Like, who is this guy? Never seen him before. I've watched this video so many times, and this is the first time that I've noticed him walking in and sitting down. I wonder who that guy is. He looks just like Dog Bounty Hunter, though. That's crazy. That's definitely not Dog the Bounty Hunter, but that's crazy. That was weird. Looks more like Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I don't know.
Zero. How is this case allowed to continue without these documents and filings being verified? Is there any legal factual basis that can state why this information has not been provided? Why the docket sheet is incorrect? Why there's so much on the docket sheet that should be on record that's not even in there? That if we had the recordings of the record they received was brought up numerous times, that doesn't even show up? I'm just asking for Your Honor to be fair, which is another right that I have, the right to a fair trial and the right to an impartial jury.
This police officer behind Darrell Brooks is really popular too because of his faces throughout the entire trial. He just looks so unimpressed by everything Darrell Brooks is presenting. Like, he looks just completely unimpressed. And if you see his face right now, that's how he feels internally, right there. That's the face. That is how he feels about Darrell Brooks. Like, that's how he feels. And that's how he looks at him the whole trial. It's hilarious.
I can go on and on and on about what's not being done.
You sure can.
Again, I say I have the right to face my accuser. Where's the injured party? Who's making the claim? I asked Your Honor numerous times for Your Honor's name.
Where's the injured party? In the ground and sitting right behind you.
You wouldn't answer. I asked, did you have a claim against me? You did not answer. I asked the whole courtroom, did anyone have a claim against me? No one said anything, which you stated for the record a non-responsive answer. A non-responsive answer is an agreement, which would be a tactic agreement by you, Your Honor, that you don't have to answer these questions that you should be answering. I have that right. The plaintiff in this matter, which was stated by witnesses in testimony to be the state of Wisconsin. But when I asked, do they see the state of Wisconsin present in the courtroom, the question is shut down, which is a valid question. The plaintiff should be present in this matter.
Don't let this man fool you. The physical plaintiff, as he's trying to present it, only needs to be present in civil court. When it's criminal court, the state is represented by state attorneys, like the one sitting to his left. So he's trying to spin like this. He's trying to spin this narrative that there's no plaintiff in this case because the injured party is not there. When you're in a criminal case involving homicide, it doesn't work that way, obviously, because your victims are in the ground. Your victims cannot defend themselves, so the state does it for them. Any murder trial that you see is going to be state versus whoever. Like, he's the reason I get frustrated with him is because of the time wasting. I know for a fact he knows that everything that he's saying is time wasting. I know for a fact that he knows that everything he's doing is to delay. Like, I'm not even going to get into really breaking down all of his legal arguments because they don't matter. He knows he had nothing that he could defend himself with. He got caught by dozens of eyewitnesses, and he got caught on 4K cameras all around the city of Waukesha. There was no getting out of this. There was no defending himself in this. Like, this is the biggest example of an open and shut case that I have ever seen on this large scale. Because he got caught in every way that you could be caught. Got caught on camera, got caught by eyewitnesses. When the car was found that he used to ram through the parade, his stuff was found in it. Like, what exactly did he think he was going to get out of? Honestly, I know exactly what he thought he was going to get out of defending himself. More days out of prison. That's really all he wanted. He wanted either more days out of prison, more days out of prison, or he wanted a mistrial that would involve him walking free. But the fact of the matter is that was never going to happen. Because the heinous act that he committed was caught by so many different avenues. There was no escaping the evidence. And he didn't have any evidence to back up anything. He didn't even have an alibi. Forget the evidence. He didn't even have an alibi to begin with. He didn't have something where he could say, oh yeah, I wasn't there. There was somebody else driving that car. That wasn't me. Or I was in the back seat and somebody else was driving. Or I wasn't even in Waukesha. He couldn't say any of that stuff. There was nothing that he could say to take himself out of that red SUV going down Main Street in Waukesha and running through dozens of people. There was nothing he could say. And so now he uses tactics like this to delay, to cause confusion, to just cause disruption, disrupt the entire flow of the trial in order to get himself one more day, just one more day outside of prison. Because he knows once he gets into federal prison, once he walks in those doors of federal prison, imagine that's the last building you're ever going to go into. You will never leave those acres of land right there. For the rest of your life, that's where you're going to stay. You will have no access to family members. You will have no access to a woman, to a lover of any kind. You will have no access to sports. Nothing. Your life will be nothingness. And, you know, I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but like, I thought one of the things that I wanted to see at sentencing was some of the victims actually make their statements about Darrell Brooks. And let me explain. They made their statements about how Brooks's actions affected their lives, how it changed their lives. And the whole time I was thinking, they have every right to express that, but he does not care. He doesn't care about how your life has been affected. He does not care. He doesn't care. And now, yes, the judge cares because the remarks that the victims make, before the sentencing does carry weight into what a judge will ultimately decide for the sentencing. It is one of the factors that they get to consider. But I could tell some of them wanted to kind of strike deep Darrell Brooks with their words. And I was like, you can't do that by talking about yourself because he's a narcissist. He only cares about him. So what you have to do to get to a Darrell Brooks, to break him, to make him upset, to push his buttons, and to truly get the only measure of revenge that you're ever going to be able to get out of this situation, because you're not going to be able to touch him. He's in federal prison. You're going to hope somebody else does it in there, right? But the way that you could do it is by talking about, hey, Darrell, this is what my speech would have been. Hey, Darrell, I know you're not listening. I know you made a whole mockery of this entire case. I know that nothing that you did means anything to you. I know the lives that you took mean nothing to you. I know the life of little Jackson Sparks means absolutely nothing to you. But you know what does mean something to you? The way that you're going to live the rest of your life. And let me tell you how you're going to live the rest of your life. It's either going to be in solitary confinement, where you're going to go crazy because all you have to talk to is yourself. You're going to be in that cell for 23 hours a day and 1 hour out for a little bit of exercise. Your food will be given to you through a very small slot in your door. And if you're lucky, you might get a very small television to watch some old movies on. But guess what? If you do go out into general population, you better know all those inmates know exactly what you did. They know that you ran through this parade. They know that you destroyed the community. They know that you killed a child. And they know that you're a sexual offender for impregnating Erica Patterson in Reno, Nevada when she was a minor. They know all of that stuff. Your life is going to be long. It's going to be hell. And every single day, you're going to think about what you did and how it left you in this position. Well, that is until you can't think anymore because you've gone crazy from all the chaos that comes with being in federal prison. That's your future. I'm not going to talk about me. I'm just going to talk about you because that's all you care about. So guess what? Since you is all you care about, you get to spend the rest of your life by yourself with just you. One day your mother will die and you will not be there to bury her. One day your grandmother will die and you will not be there to bury her. Erica Patterson will move on and find love with another man, and that man will be better than you've ever been. And guess what? There's nothing you can do about it. That's what Darrell Brooks needed to hear at sentencing. I'm sorry, but he did not need to hear what he did to the families. He knows what he did to the families. But guess what? He was able to make a mockery and make them feel even worse, victimize them even further, because they went up there and they spoke their truth. Really, I can't falter them for it, but I just wish one person would have just went and said, if you guys have seen that XXX Tentacion murder trial, when the sentencing came and the judge was sentencing the murderers of XXX to prison, he slowly and methodically told them every step of what they were about to experience. He was like, yeah, this small cell, that's your house. That steel toilet, that steel bed with a really thin mattress and thin blanket, that's your furniture. And you're going to be in there for the rest of your life. That was cold, bro. I really wish somebody would have came at Darrell Brooks like that, because I feel like that is really what would have broke him. And I feel like those victim impact statements was just another opportunity for Darrell Brooks to victimize those families and those victims of his parade attack. And I hate that it went down like that. But look, we're going to come back to this 50-minute rant in a separate video. But I just wanted to get things started. Again, this is a channel that I'm ramping up. If you guys like the video, if you guys like the content, please do like, share, subscribe, do all of that good stuff so that we can get this channel growing and we can react to more stuff. I don't just do this. I also am a big wrestling fan. If you guys are into wrestling, I have another channel, Manifest Wrestling. I believe it's in my featured channels on my main page. And I'm also going to be dipping into a lot of sports and stuff. I'm a sportscaster by trade, but I'm also a big true crime fan. I've been wanting to cover this trial for a long time. So if you guys are with all of that, please make sure, like, share, subscribe, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.